Check, check. Check, check, check. We are back. Chopping Block is live. Spread the word. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, phone a friend, and tell a friend we're on. The Chopping Block is live with yours truly. Call it James, big up yourself. Sassy J, wagwan. Andrew Forbes in the building. Michael Coleman in the building. Taisha, wagwan, cuz. The struggle is real. Desperation setting in. Salim Samuda. Junior George, wagwan. Patra in the building. Mr. Rupert Ellis in the building. So phone a friend, tell a friend, tweet a friend, and tell a friend we are back in full effect. Magnus Williams, big up yourself. The sharpshooter is in the building. The farmer top cop is in the building. And y'all know when this man speaks, he speaks from the heart, right? Dan Jackson, big up yourself. O'Neil Francis, wagwan. So rock and come in. Tell a friend and tweet a friend, right? We are live. The last time this man was here, I tell you, he broke down some records, man. Think he's about to do the same thing tonight, huh? Vern Dixon, big up yourself. Sheena Brady, wagwan. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, and phone a friend that the Chopping Block is live. Yeah, Veron, good to see you. So you know the admission to get in is to share, right? Press the love, press the love, press the love, press the love. Marlene Dawes, big up yourself. Lester Gaza Gale, big up yourself. Kadian Sinclair, big up yourself. Kadeen Senior, big up yourself. Canada representing, right? Is there anybody from the UK in the building? Audrey Heron, big up yourself. Michelle Brown, wagwan. Lennox, Mr. Wallace, big up yourself. Camille McLeod, sing it out loud. Fabian Lewis, what's going on? Good evening, Camille. Madam PM. Better known. So UK representing, Canada representing, the United States, are you in the building? New York in the building? New Jersey in the building? CT in the building? Share the thing, man. Share the thing. Denise Johnson, big up yourself. We have the man himself in the building. Newton Amos in the building. Keith Francis, big up yourself. Big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself. Magnus Williams, big up yourself. Cleveland, Ohio in the building. Minnesota in the building. No, this is just telling you how wide a reach we are, right? Stone Mountain, Georgia in the building. Yeah. North Dakota in the building. New York, city so big they name it twice. New York is in the building. Marsha, big up yourself. Odeon statistician Grant, big up yourself. Cheryl Wallace, wagwan. Fort Lauderdale, them call it Mini Jamaica, is in the building. Grenada is in the building. Junior George representing for Grenada, right? Derek Isaac, good to see you. Darlan H. Francis, Canada, representing. Hey, guess what? Los Angeles, California is in the building. LA is in the building. Now, which parishes in Jamaica is represented, right? St. Elizabeth in the building. St. James in the building. And you know the special guest is a St. Catherine man, right? And St. Catherine is well represented, right? Terry Salmon, big up yourself. Brian Myers, big up yourself. Ginger Ridge, represented. GQ, big up yourself. Brenda, big up yourself. Nikki Morris, wagwan. So greetings, and peace profound, as always. Positive vibrations and positive sounds. How y'all doing out there? There's so much bubbling, there's so much popping. Let's just check for sound and quality. Are you guys hearing us loud and clear? Are you hearing me loud? Alexandra, big up yourself. I hope I'm being heard loud and clear, you know. Like we've always said, we're coming to you live behind the golden microphone. Yeah. With half our brains strapped behind our backs. Just to make the competition, you know, fair. Yeah, man, we're coming to you live from the heavily fortified studios of the Chopping Block. Yeah, man, with yours truly, Chopper John West. The last time we bring this gentleman on the program, he was firing missiles after missiles after missiles, you know. And when we talk about somebody who is uncensored and uncut and speak with clarity and no ambiguity, no fear, speak it like it is, call it like it is, and tell those corrupt folks who they truly are and who they are is who they are. Gentle folks, tonight we have again with us, we have the pleasure of speaking again tonight with none other than Mr. Newton Amos. Sir Amos, greetings and peace profound. How are you doing?
Greetings, Chopper. Greetings.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. It's been a while. The last time you graced us with your presence, it was epic, as I would say in our circle, because you hold no punches and you call it like it is. One of the things I want to talk to you about this evening, I read in an interview with the Member of Parliament for your constituency. They were touring, and apparently, you know what, I'm going to let you tell the folks what happened while these guys were touring and why you made the statement you made, which made the rounds and fell on the chopping block. Hence, we wanted you to shed some light on what happened. How you do?
Well, as you know, that I represent the Jamaica Labour Party in the Northwest St. Catherine constituency, a constituency that has been held by the PNP, yes, in the form of Robert Pickersgill, just under the shade of 30 years. Mm-hmm. And when I did office as a police officer, I had decided that I would have gone home and get involved in my private business and pay more attention to family and relaxation and continue to serve my God. Mm-hmm. But having gone back into the community from which I'm hailed, which is Yorkton, Mount Rasa communities, mm-hmm, I realized that the things that was a part of my youth, by carrying loads of buckets of water on my head, mm-hmm, from a nearby spring to home, had continued after just about 40 years.
Still exists.
Still exist. Mm-hmm. And when I look at the level of representation by the PNP under Pickersgill, I was forced to come out of retirement, mm-hmm, and to re-enter the public domain by giving my service as a representative.
Yes.
Among some of the things that I found to be dismally out of place was simple basic things that any well-thinking representative
would want to have,
would have ensured that the people, and especially those that they claim to represent, that falls below the poverty line, and those that are on the fringes of the poverty line, that they would have seen to it to try and ensure that basic commodities, would be able to reach them. This was not being done, and it was not a level of victimization where you will have certain areas controlled or is well known as a strong GLP support area, that they would not afford certain basic amenities to reach them. It was permitted throughout the entire constituency. So it showed that this man occupied a chair, a position, where he collected the monies from taxpayers to be in that position without doing the work that he's being paid for. And I have now completely satisfied myself that based on those observations, that he has been collecting money from the Jamaican taxpayers on a false pretense. And as such, we need to call him out. Now, there is a police station up in Lloydesdale. That area is called Shady Grove.
Right.
in 2016, May 2016, I took the then opposition leader, Honorable Andrew Holness, after he toured my constituency with me for 4 days.
Yes.
It is the last day of the tour that I took him there. And I took him to the police station because the police station is the worst building in Lloydersville.
Wow.
As far as I know, because I have been there. It is the worst kept, worst looking, and surely was seen as among one of the oldest building in that part of the area. And I've been giving him a tour of the station, and this is a station that I had inspected before, like a year or two before, and had written to the police hierarchy that this station should be condemned.
Wow. So you
Should
did that
be
while
condemned.
you made that recommendation while you were in the force.
While I was the senior superintendent in charge of operation for Area 5.
Yes.
And Area 5 comprises of St. Catherine South, which is Portmore, St. Catherine North, which is Spanish Town and its environs, St. Andrew North, which is Constant Springs, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And I wrote to the police high command telling them that it was a disgrace to have policemen, human beings, people picnic, placed in an environment as such, and that the station should be condemned and that the police officers should be relocated. Bear in mind that this is not the only police station that I had visited and had asked for refurbishing to take place. I did the same thing to Stony Hill and Lawrence Tavern. And that was under Peter Bunting's stewardship as minister. Nothing was done. They didn't do anything about it. The same thing with Shady Grove. The then leader said to the police officers after he toured the facilities, he apologized to them for having allowed them to operate and to coexist under those circumstances. And he said to them in my presence that when I become prime minister, I will build you a new station. Now he's prime minister. 2 years in his prime ministership, and the station is built. When the station was about to be built, I was informed that the station is to be built through the National Housing Trust. Like most of the other stations that the prime minister, who has responsibility for the National Housing Trust, had given instruction for this to be done, and the National Housing Trust have been refurbishing and building new station since this new government.
Right.
Now, within 2 years of his prime ministership, a brand new station is built. And would you believe that these set of rascals, these people who program themselves to either claim blame when they don't do things, or claim to was about to do something that they had 30 years to do but did not do it, and at the same time they have the temerity to be saying to the Jamaican people, and in particular if those persons who the station will serve, that having been there, Pickersgill, have been there for just under 30 years, were not able to build that station. Hugh Graham is councillor and his sidekick, who has been the councillor for Lloydersville for more than 2 terms, was not able to build out that station under the PMP. They occupy the position of government more than the Jamaica Labour Party has. They were not able to build a new station to the people that they represent for 30 years. And when the JLP built the station in 2.5 years, they have the audacity, shameless men, come to say that they had it in the pipeline, that they had taken Bunting up there. Bunting, who was not able to carry out his function as Minister of National Security, to ensure that the people of Jamaica were able to live in some amount of peace, tranquility, safety, and security.
But you work, I was about to say, you work under his stewardship. Was he not minister when you were in the force?
He was my minister.
Wow.
He was my minister.
So you're not
he
speaking from second hand?
He visited me at Area 5.
Yes.
I toured within these stations, and he made certain promises which were never fulfilled.
Wow.
He, as a minister, like the other things that he was supposed to do, he was not able to do them. Old time people say, when trouble catch you, pick the shot fit you. Well, that's exactly what happened to him. Now that the station is built, the PNP is now moving around in the constituency, trying to identify themselves
as the
with the progress that the people have now become accustomed to under the Jamaica Labour Party. And I am calling them out to be men of moral standard and fortitude. At least what they can start to do is to learn to speak the truth. They can begin to learn to speak the truth. And no matter how old Mr. Pickersgill may be, I think that he still is in the position to understand falseness, because he's an attorney, from truth, from fiction.
Yes.
And it is full time for them to be called out, and that the people that we serve must be allowed to understand that these two men are three-card tricksters. And they should not be allowed to continue to mislead the people, because they know that it is this government. And I tell you this, why I'm so disturbed about it, and when I speak about it with such a passion, is that they know, that I know, that the people know that this station is built solely by this government without any fanfare involving in it. What we are doing is simply to serve the people that place us there to represent them.
Right.
But we can't allow them to get away with this falsification.
So you're basically ensuring that whenever they rise to claim responsibility for whatever is done in your constituency, you are making sure that the correct information as to how things progress is put out there in the public space.
All that we are interested in is a fairness. Fairness by leveling with the people and say to the people, this is what we are doing, and these are the elements that are responsible for what we are doing. It's the same thing with the roads.
Yes.
We have completed work renovation on some 7 roads in the constituency that were never touched over the 30 years the PNP was in power. Never ever touched. In fact, Pickersgill stated that he will never fix those roads because he sees no light at the end of the tunnel for him.
Wow. Because
it's pure labor right them live on in those areas. The Eatfield Main Road, the Savannah Main Road, the Wakesfield Main Road, the Lemon Ridge Main Road, the White House Main Road, all those roads in less than 2 years. This government, under the Honorable Prime Minister Michael Honest, has seen to it that the people of Jamaica are more comfortable to traverse their communities due to the infusion of placing the necessary funds to have these roads repaired. And would you believe me that these same set of people are moving around in the communities saying that they are the ones responsible for the repairs and the refurbishing of the roads because they had it in the pipeline before.
Shameless, to say the least.
Shameless people.
Shameless.
These are men of no shame. They have no shame. And I'm calling them out tonight. Right? I don't usually disrespect people because I don't want to be disrespected.
Right.
But in all fairness and in the essence of truth and fair play, these are dishonest position taken by these people by claiming that they should be given accolades as a result of what is now taking place on a different government.
And we gather that they were actually going around campaigning, saying to persons that, you know, they have made representation for these roads to be fixed. They made representation for the new police station to be built. You know, that's as you put it clearly, shameless.
Shameless. And one of the things that I'm going to call them out on tonight, is that since everything that we do, they are claiming that they are the ones that does it.
Yes.
Now there is a park.
No, I want you to hold that one for a quick second. We're gonna come right back and allow Mr. Amos to tell us the other items that he wishes to call these men, these as he put it clearly, rascals. He wants to call them out. Stand by, guys. We're gonna come right back.
A little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. All right. All right. No, that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some. Jamaica.
Jamaica. Once you go, you know.
Yeah, man. Once you go, you know. Yeah, welcome back. Sir Amos. We're back. And you're about to tell us another situation that you wishes to call these guys out on the hypocrisy that they perpetrate on that community. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that this clinic be closed because of the state and condition that exists there. Walking distance from his office. There is a pit toilet that is operated at the clinic, where his office has one of the best modern toilet in his office. And our pregnant women were using a pit toilet, fudging themselves against roads and rodents in that environment. The place was so run down and dilapidated, I had was to go there and demand that the place is to be closed.
Right.
And that was the time when they attempt to do some painting and changes there.
This park, and just for the listeners, for the sake of the listeners, we had a little glitch a while ago. We had no sound on your end. So for the park that you're talking about, you're saying this park is located next to the police station?
Opposite the police station. So opposite the police station. There's a monument there that was mounted there to indicate that it is a historic park.
Yes.
Now, what is it? What is the responsibility for councillors or the municipality? These are the remit of the municipality and the councillors.
Right.
More so where you have a PMP MP and all 4 councillors are PMP. The clinic falls under the municipality. The cemetery that I have to go there and demonstrate in 2017,
yes,
they were burying people in the swamp water in the cemetery. That would have caused an health hazard for the entire community. And I have demanded for the cemetery to be closed. It has not been closed up until now. The community center,
yes,
which is another walking distance from the Councillor Hugh Graham's office, is in the worst state that you could ever imagine.
So you're talking about
There's so
a
much
park.
money.
You're talking about a park. Well,
I'm
let's go
speaking
back
about
to the police station, the park, the clinic. And now you're talking about the community center?
The cemetery.
The cemetery?
The cemetery. The community center.
Yes.
I was there yesterday. Visiting, they had a grave digging there. And I had us to say to the people, where in God heavens do you find place in that cemetery to be burying more people? And when I got there yesterday, the same issue that I had highlighted in 2017
yes,
still exists under Hugh Graham, who is a councillor for that division.
Wow.
We put in place a multi-purpose court, spend millions of dollars to put a sporting facility within rural parts of the country so that our rural folks, our youths, can be involved in sports and sports development. It has been completely ruined.
Are you talking about the mini stadium that was built up there?
Yes. It is in total shambles. It is taken over by goats.
Oh my God.
There are trees now higher than you. The community center, I went in there yesterday, I took pictures of it. It is in a state of dilapidation. It is in a state of it is something that I am so passionate about, that we could have these people going around putting up their banner on work that is being done by this government, whilst the other amenities that have been provided for those that they claim they represent, taxpayer hard-earned money, is allowed to be existing in rooms. None of them are being maintained. No management is taking place there. And this is the person who is now talking about they were the ones that built police station. They can't fix a park. They can't treat with the clinic. They have not dealt with the cemetery issue. The community center is in a shamble. How then are they speaking about building police station which costs hundreds of millions of dollars. If they themselves can't organize to ensure that our pregnant women can go to our clinics in some amount of comfort and decency, who dare them to speak about other issues, such as a police station? The facilities that exist for a community to strive, there has to be a part of government involvement to ensure that the interests of the people are served. It cannot be and should never be allowed that these people are collecting the very taxpayers' money and either refuse or neglect to carry out their function to the comfort of the people.
But Mr. Amos, let's put some things in perspective. While we agree, and I'm 100% in agreement with you, but shouldn't the people of that constituency take some responsibility for allowing the elected representative to continue? Because I'm sure these guys have been re-elected numerous amount of time, right? How can a constituents sit back and allow for persons to give this type of representation and they're continuously repeating the same thing over and over by re-electing them?
Well, if you look at the culture of our political process in Jamaica, you will find that more than 3/4 of our people do not participate in our electoral business. In the constituency of Northwest St. Catherine, there are 34,000 electors eligible to vote. And whilst I did my review and research over the past 2 decades that Pickersgill has been Member of Parliament, we do not have a third of those participating in the political process. So that speaks volume to itself. It's a set of persons, those that they have carved out, those that they meaning the PNP, that they have allowed themselves to be involved in a particular kind of practice. So they look at a certain amount of persons, 4,000 or 5,000 people, ensure that over a sustained period these persons are viewed as comrades, and they ensure that every time that you go to the poll, those 4,000 or 5,000 persons vote for the PNP. And I think it has some issue treating with organization in the constituency all around. You would have seen that 2016 election, he was caught off his legs. He didn't have anywhere to stay or go because for the first time he was up against an organization, not just an individual,
right?
But he was up against an organization that was well managed, well oiled, and that we were really treating with the issues. We were dealing with the issues that come from the people. And that's why the Jamaica Labour Party did so well in the 2016 election.
What's the numbers? What's the numbers, your exit numbers in that constituency?
The
numbers in terms of what was his numbers prior, and what's the numbers after the election?
The elections before the 2016 election, he had polled just under 8,000 votes, just under 7,000 plus, and the JLP had polled just under 4,000 and under. And the 2016 elections, he polled under 7,000 votes, and the JLP polled over 6,000 votes.
Oh.
So you will see the disparity. We were able to cut grounds on him by some 2,800 votes in 7 months.
Wow.
In 7 months.
So
we were able to cut his majority by over 2,000 votes.
So what's
in
his
7
lead now?
months.
What's the lead in the constituency now?
Well,
Or what's the
I don't want to
deficit
say
that you have to cut?
just under 600.
Wow.
Just under 600. It probably is over 600, but it's within the margin of winning.
Yes. Well,
Yes,
anything
for the
under
first
1,000.
time. For the first time.
Anything under 1,000
Yes.
is winnable, if you ask me.
Yes, and 1,000 now is no satisfaction.
No, not at all.
None whatsoever.
And don't be comfortable if you even at 1,500.
That's the point.
Based on what the Prime Minister has indicated, that every single seat, including the leader of the opposition, is up for
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we are working towards.
Yes.
That's what we are working towards. And I think, you see, let me hasten to say
Yes.
that it is unfair for the Member of Parliament for Northwest St. Catherine to hold on with his dear life to being the Member of Parliament representing so-called the people of Northwest St. Catherine when he is unable to service the constituency. It is something that is so very scandalous
Yes.
that you knowingly knows that you are not able, for one reason or the other, there is an inability for you to carry out the function for which you were placed. And you refuse to step aside and to allow for the people to choose. And I challenge the PMP tonight that if they think that this is a seat that they claim that is a PMP seat, I invite the little gentleman to step aside, send in his resignation,
And let us.
and let the people of Northwest St. Catherine go back to the poll to choose who they deem fit to represent them at this time. I challenge him.
So you're putting out a challenge tonight to
Yes.
the leadership of the People's National Party
Yes.
to accept the resignation of the sitting MP and allow-
Demand, not accept. Demand. Demand, yes.
demand
Yes,
the
demand.
resignation of the
Yes.
current member of parliament and make way
Yes.
for a by-election.
For new elections to be called so that the people can be properly represented.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's an unreasonable request.
I would think so. I wouldn't think it is. I don't think it is, because I think the gentleman has indicated that he's not going back, and the fact that he has done so, it means that in all fairness, if you're checked out, then you should just check out.
That's the point. So they have no regards for the people that they claim to love. They have no regards for the people that they claim to serve. If they had, this would have been the best thing to do, to ensure that all times the people get optimum representation in the constituency. And that's not the only constituency. There's another one in St. James
Yes.
where the PMP MP is not seen. They are missing in action. Okay? So if you really love people as they usually claim to be, then they should have, for the first time, sincerely and genuinely step aside and allow the people to choose. They love to talk about the people,
yes.
how they love the people. We can't allow the SOE to continue because the people not making money, the people not doing this, the people. But when it comes to them losing power, genuinely acting on behalf of all the people, they hold on to power with their lives.
Yes.
These hypocrites, they are hypocrites. And they must be told that they are.
So tonight you're saying
Okay.
they should just do a double fold. Call for the resignation, demand the resignation of both, and let the people go to the poll and get proper representation.
You see, I put it to you, Chopper John,
Yes.
that the PMP may have find themselves under the very stones they thought they had smashed.
Oh. Oh.
They thought with their lies that they could have destroyed our Prime Minister and leader, talking about his house,
Yes.
talking about his family, talking about all these things. That was crushing stones. So they thought that they, by these venom they were spreading, would have crushed the Jamaica Labour Party and its leader.
Because
But
it's
what
they have a
happened?
history. They have a history of targeting the leader, you know. So you're
Yes.
perfectly correct.
But this time around, the very stones that they thought they had crushed fall upon them because they remain unsmashed. And that is what is bothering them. So every inch of the way that the JLP has made their mark in ensuring that the promises that they have made to the people of Jamaica, all the new infrastructure, all the new schools and the school program, all the hospitals and the program within the health sector, the economy, the roads, the transportation, agriculture, all of those areas that are showing positive signs, trending in the right direction, they have found themselves under the very stones they thought they had crushed.
Wow.
And as a result of that, they have become panicky. They are falling over each other. They do not know whether they should be going or coming. And as a result of that, very soon, very, very soon, you're going to hear the flip side of all those noises you hear coming out of the barrels that are so empty. That is going to have to say to yourselves whether these are the same people that represent us all these years.
Wow. 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 They crushed the stone and thought it was crushed. It's
Yes.
coming back to haunt them. We're speaking with
Yes.
Newton Amos, the man himself. No holds bar. Sir Amos, we take a quick walk and we're coming right back, guys. Stand by.
Okay.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. Alright. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. Alright. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Alright.
So you boy want ID thing there?
Yeah, dog, but I'm not too sure about that, you know. I'm not getting no DNA that too personal.
DNA, finish that man, not no go so.
But I'm so sure about that.
Check to myself, you know, need no DNA and no bank information to deal with it.
Well, I'm going to check out that for myself.
Real thing man, no when you want to look alone, I have the ID, the bank deal with the thing look quicker, is it?
That sound good, one ID, tell me more.
Secure your future and know your facts. Go to www.nitsfacts.com.
National identification coming soon.
Yo, you about the one ID thing there?
Yeah, dog, but I'm not too sure about that, you know. I'm not getting no DNA that too personal.
DNA, finish that man, not no go so.
But are you so sure about that?
Check to myself, you know, need no DNA and no bank information to deal with it.
Well, I'm going to check out that for myself.
Real thing man, now when you want to look alone, I have your ID, the bank deal with the thing look quicker, is it?
That sound good, one ID, tell me more.
Secure your future and know your facts. Go to www.nitsfacts.com.
National identification coming soon.
Yes, folks. So we're talking to Newton Amos, who is laying the groundwork for what he thinks, and is going to be an interesting election he's called on the opposition to not just ask but demand the resignation of Bobby Pickersgill, the sitting MP for Northwest St. Catherine. He's asking that he just tender his resignation, man, and allow for the people of that constituency to get proper representation. And he's leaped into St. James, and he's calling on Derek Kelly as well to step aside and allow for proper representation to be given to the people in these constituencies. Newton Amos is live on the chopping block. Sir Amos, there's another topic I want to get your input on. The state of emergency. Last time you were here, you spoke to it briefly. Since then, I think 2 of those SOE has expired. Oops, sorry about that. 2 of those SOE has expired, and one is about to expire, I think, the end of this month. A lot of people, I have been in several communities in St. James, and a lot of concerns. People are concerned. People are worried that when these things expire, are they going to go back to the mayhem that existed before the SOE? 3 triple murders every day, 4 or 5 people killed in gas stations, on the highway going into the airport, all over Montego Bay. And I've gone there myself. I'm not reading this in a newspaper. I've gone to places like Salt Springs, sit with people who experience some of the atrocities that existed before the SOE. And they are concerned. They are concerned. How do you view the current state of affairs as it relates to the expiration of these SOE? How is it going to affect the people? Do you think that the government should... What do you think the government should do?
Well, I have very strong views as to some of the things that we may want to treat with in the absence of the state of emergency and in the absence of the some of the zones of special operations. But may I say that fundamentally, when you look at people who claim that they are representing people, that whenever they speak so on behalf of those people, should not allow us to believe that their talks are just empty talks. They should be able to analyze, look at all the pros and the cons. Certainly that they have to do so within the confines of the law. The Constitution is our supreme document, and that we cater for every single Jamaican to observe the Constitution. But how in God's heaven can you have a set of people who claim to love people, love life, love Jamaican, and yet when is the time come to support and to defend these people, they abandon them? In St. James, where the state of emergency ends January 31st of this year, we had developed, after a tremendous turbulence of high crime and violence in that parish, we have now seen a reduction of 70% in murders. 70% in murders, and 58% decrease in shootings. Look at what I am saying.
That's significant.
70% decrease, reduction, mean murders stop by 70%. And those of us that don't understand, when you speak about percentage, you're talking about from 0% to 100. And 70 of 100, we saw a reduction. This is unheard of. So it means that whatever you were doing, or whatever you are doing, is working for on behalf of the majority of us.
Right.
Let me hasten to say that the 58% reduction in shooting is 58% possible increase in murders.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if we were able to prevent 58% of the shooters from going around killing people, which resulted in the 70% in the murder rate, because majority of our people, the gun was a choice of weapon in killing them.
Right.
So if we were able to prevent that, it goes to show that if they really loved people and really wanted in the best interest of those they claim to love, they would have found common ground to sit down, even if they had some issues. The fundamental issue was to save lives, to allow people to be able to move around in their communities in peace.
So you would have gotten the result. You would have gotten the desired result.
Absolutely. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't raise issue if they are issue. Raise them. But it should be raised in the context that at the end of the day, the people should not be less protected.
Well, what do you say to the folks who is strident that the extension of the SOE is unconstitutional?
The law is clear as to, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to make statements that I am not knowledgeable to do.
Right.
Well, what I can tell you, the law is non-existable without the presence of people. The law is designed to treat with people, not robots. If the majority of our people do not observe the law, there will be anarchy. If the people believe that the law, although it is for the protection of all of us, is not working for them, there will be anarchy. So despite the fact that you have an issue with how the Constitution you may interpret the Constitution to treat with a matter pertaining to the people, it should be done in a way that both the government and the opposition should sit down and work out the best formula that will see the protection and the security and safety of the majority of the people. That is my position on the issue of what they may say about the Constitution.
Right. All right. So there's one more issue I want to get your input on. I don't know how far you can go on that one, but the burning issue today is Petrojam, and some of the discrepancies that is open. It's in the public domain, where I don't know if you saw it. A private company just went in after the minister had made her announcement as to what the government intends to do with regards to Petrojam. And out of the blues came, I don't want to say a fictitious company because they're not fictitious anymore. They are persons, actual persons who run these companies, who offer to purchase the Petrojam from the government and also from Venezuela. I don't know how deep you have seen it. I don't know if you've looked at it, read anything about it. I don't even know if you want to comment on it. But it's up to you.
the one of the things that I'm delighted for, one of the things that sometimes when I drive along these beautiful roadways, paved and carpeted by the Jamaica Labour Party, when I indulge myself with the renewal of comfort,
Yes.
and when I told myself that majority of the Jamaican people no longer, especially among our young people, no longer ascribe to go to foreign land because of sufferation in Jamaica. No longer do I hear the cry by our young entrepreneurs and our young people saying, "Me can't bother with Jamaica, Jamaica come like a back a wall." All I'm hearing now is Alfred Tree carpet, Barbican carpet, Portia Simpson Square. Remember the name what I said? Portia Simpson Square carpet.
Mandela.
That has never been carpeted before.
Mandela carpet.
Marcus Garvey carpet. Everywhere is carpeted. Now people are bald. PMP is balling now. I want carpet in St. Thomas. They are balling in Portland. I want carpet in Portland. So what is coming out of this is against the background now. Everything that the PMP has ever put them onto result in scandals, misappropriation, issues, bad-mindedness, and everything that is total lacking. Bear in mind that the Petrojam issue started long ago on the PNP, and the PNP was able, everything that they touch, it turned to dirt, Everything that they touch failed. Petrojam, one of Jamaica's best, greatest piece of infrastructure, was damaged by the PNP by taking the PNP mantra to that organization by saying, "Boy, man have to eat a food."
Yes.
It is man have to eat a food mentality which was brought to the Jamaican people by the PNP that's messed up Petrojam. Now, we went into an agreement with Petrojam, 2006, 2007, I think it was, treating with the issue of an arrangement where Petrojam is going to help us to bring our infrastructure to worldwide status so that we can domestically and internationally compete and serve our purpose. That has not honored the PNP all those years. Nothing was done about it.
Nothing.
All they were doing was gathering stones until it reached a point where now the best in the West, the Honorable Andrew Holness,
yes,
our youngest, brightest Prime Minister, has come along with one of the most brilliant foreign affairs minister we have ever seen.
Absolutely.
In post-independence.
Absolutely.
Post-independence.
I will agree with you on that. Yes.
When she went to the United Nations recently, and when she stood up and started to speak in French,
the world listened.
In Spanish, and in English, we were teaching the PNP how to represent Jamaica.
Absolutely.
Now, when you look at what they are saying, you would have thought that the opposition and their former leaders are Venezuelans. They are speaking on behalf of the interest of Venezuela,
yes,
not Jamaica. Yet them say them love Jamaica and them love Jamaican people. But when the time comes for them to act and to act decisively on the people's behalf, this is what we find. Now, the government, in its wisdom, and remember that this Prime Minister is one of the most transformational and strategic thinkers that ever hosts Jamaica House. Let me hasten to say, the only time Peter Phillips will see the halls of Jamaica House is when he's invited there by the Honorable Prime Minister Michael Andrew Onis.
Say that one more time.
And let me say that to him again.
Say that again.
That the Jamaica House is out of bounds to the PNP. The people of Jamaica has rendered them out of bounds to Jamaica House. So they could ball and roll and grumble until them belly side bust. They will not see the halls of Jamaica House unless the Honorable Prime Minister invite them there.
I hope these people are listening. You know, there's 125 people listening you live, Mr. Amos. 126 live people watching you right now, and I guarantee you there are several thousands who have viewed the program so far. And you're saying to them that the people of Jamaica has rendered the People's National Party dormant, and they should not and will not see Jamaica House unless they're invited.
That was the message that they got in February 2016. You are no longer a tenant or a resident of Jamaica House. Get out. Know that you are out. Know that you are out.
Yes.
We are going to observe the Schedule A.
Yes.
We are going to observe the Schedule A premises. Schedule A premises is a premises that you cannot light around. You can't go there, police will lock you up.
You can't light it.
Unless you're invited there.
Yes.
So Jamaica House is out of bounds. Let me repeat it. OUTBOUNDS, out of bounds to the PNP.
I hope you guys are
and
here.
Until when the Jamaican people, in their wisdom, have decided that there is an organization named PNP that they want for some unusualness to return to that house, then when that time comes, is a time that probably you and I will not be around to witness.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is Newton Amos, uncut, uncensored, no holds bar. The man said the People's National Party can only visit Jamaica House if they're invited.
Yes.
And the schedule, which dictates that if you're on the halls or on the premises of such compound, you could be charged for loitering.
Yes, you can't go there as you like. You cannot go there as you like.
Out of bounds.
Desmond McKenzie did go up there in opposition and them tear gas him.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, sir. Quite clear.
Well, all right. So they must understand themselves that the people have spoken.
Yes.
And the people have given the Jamaica Labour Party and the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, our dear Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Onis, dominion over the processing of the Jamaican people's business. Yes. So the decision with Petrojam is not a dibby willy-nilly decision.
Mm-hmm.
This is a well thought out decision based on factual figures whereby Jamaica would be at a disadvantage and at stark disadvantage if we should continue to entertain the arrangements with the Venezuelan government. And the government, I am commending the government and the cabinet for taking such bold and far-reaching decision to correct the ills that the PNP leave down by Petrojam. Everything them touch turn into dust. Everywhere they go, there is problem, calamity. Everything goes wrong because they have never ever think that they should put the Jamaican people and their business first. It is always the PNP first, the PNP first, and the PNP first.
Yes. 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 You could not have said this any better. Noon Amos, as always, and candid, open, frank. Let us. I want to talk a little bit about your constituency.
Yes.
And your plan and your plans going in, because as everybody knows, we're heading into an election campaign cycle. You have a deficit of 600 or thereabout that will have to be
over
removed.
600.
Oh, a little over 600. That will have to be removed in order for you to become the member of parliament for that constituency and to offer the steady leadership and representation that the people needs. So before we can get to that, we have to decide how do we remove that deficit of 600. What's your plan, without telling everybody what your strategy is, but what are some of the plans you have for the constituency? You list a number of areas, a number of places that needs repair, needs upgrading, some of these places that the People's National Party would have built and just left to the neglect of, animals to roam. What is your plan, overall plan for the constituency?
Well, politics is about people.
Yes.
It's not about money. Those are secondary. It is about trying to attempt to look at and for in the best interests of those you choose to represent. I have pledged to the people of Northwest St. Catherine. When I lost my first attempt, I immediately after, despite the pain that I felt, because I was confident that I would have unseated him, what has happened is that I drove around the day after I lost to every nook and cranny of the constituency that I had visited during the time when I seek the support, and thank the people for their support. The agony of defeat had reached me, but I was comforted by the fact that I was able to, my team and I, was able to, within 7 months, doubled the amount of votes that the Jamaica Labour Party was able to amass over 20 years. And it shows that the people are inclined. You see, the demographics of the constituency has changed tremendously. And therefore, if you identify that such a change has taken place, then you need to put system and mechanism in place to capture that new demographic and use it to your advantage. That's all I would say on that aspect of it.
Yes.
I have embarked on several initiatives and programs geared towards servicing the constituency. So I'm looking at job creation and the opportunity for jobs. I'm looking at the whole issue of young people, especially between the ages of 14 and 35. 14 and 35, I chose that because of the crime pattern in Northwest St. Catherine. It's a large chunk of our youngsters, mostly male, who are languishing in jail and prison, awaiting trial for all kinds of crimes. I believe that with my leadership and with my history and knowledge and experience as a policeman, that I can bring a difference to these youngsters. And it has already begun.
Right.
So I'm playing a major role in that area. The question of getting those same group to appreciate skills training, most of them are dropout from our high school, our junior and primary schools, and they have not attained any level of certification. I'm trying to find ways and means to re-enter them into the school system, so that at least they can be certified in specific areas, or those who can't be specified from an educational standpoint, that they will attain a skill. And therefore, this is one reason why I accuse Pickersgill of falling asleep at the wheel. There are so many centers, community centers, that he could have developed over 30 years. If he had done one center
Yes.
in every 5 years, he would have done all the center in Northwest St. Catherine. Make them into centers where we can establish training, skills training for that group. Target that group and initiate skills training so that they can apply themselves meaningfully by getting a job and servicing themselves and their families. We speak to the old question of technology. In this era, we can't just look at people traditionally going out to a job. We're going to have people doing their own work. We're going to have them becoming involved in the entrepreneurship. We're going to have them becoming involved in agriculture. We're going to have them becoming involved in programs that they don't have to get up in the morning and walk to a job or take a taxi to go to a work. But if they are so technologically inclined, they can remain in their homes and get jobs and make a lot of money.
Absolutely.
This is the way forward with our young people.
Yes.
There's no leadership. There is nothing inside the Northwest St. Catherine to indicate that this man who has been there for 30 years has made himself into anything other than been there for the period of time. So that's all I can boast about. So we know we'll have to recalibrate the issues, reprogram the issues, and reconnect with that group that have become so vulnerable. Then we look at another vulnerable group, those retired persons and those aged people. They still vote. Some of them, I took them to the polling station in wheelchairs. They still vote. But there are a lot of them that are poverty stricken. They don't have food and they don't have medicine. They don't have medication. So we have to establish an outreach program. And I'm in dialogue with Dr. Christopher Tufton, the Minister of Health, to try and see how best they can assist. But as you know, I am not the Member of Parliament, and by law, there are certain provisions that if the Honourable Prime Minister ever attempt to treat with it that way, then they will have an opportunity to go around with his house and light our stuff. And we're not going to allow that to happen.
Absolutely.
So we have to establish our own programs. We have to speak to the private sector, and we are doing our own charity program to reach out to these people. The question of roads and the hospitals and the clinics and the cemeteries. Now, let me say something to you very quickly. Sometimes you don't have to have a lot of money when you're a leader to get the job done. The inspiration for which you brought to the leadership will galvanize others to follow you and to treat with you for things that you didn't even ask them to do. There is no leadership in the constituency where it relates to Pickersgill and his 4 councillors. After the Christmas season, Linstead was overrun by rodents. Uncollected garbage, left, right, and center in the town. 4 PMP councillors. If you should go to the Commodore Cemetery, it is a monumental disgrace. The Yorton Cemetery. I have an aunt that was buried in the Yorton Cemetery when I was about 12 years old. My mother's sister. And up until last week, I went into that cemetery trying to find her grave, and I can't find it. I can't find it. I do not know what the PNP them do with that grave, because they must have buried people on top of it. And that's what they are doing. It is the worst cemetery in the country, the Yorton Cemetery. The Lower Dasville Cemetery is the same thing, under the PNP over a sustained period. How can these people still be talking about what they intend to do when the people gave them the chance for 30 years? How is it possible for these shameless, faceless people to come out to make claims that they had it in the pipeline, that they intended to do it for 30 years, for 26 years, for 27 years? So we are not going to allow that to happen to us. The issue of sports development for young people, both male and female, is high on our agenda. The issue of basic school learning, the very young kids, we're going to have to start to mold them from that level so that when they grow up, they will remain constant to be good Jamaicans and don't choose the path of crime and violence. The respect that they should have for our women, the amount of persons domestically killed in Jamaica by our male is something that need much to be desired. And it is a breakdown coming out of the homes into our schools, into our churches, and end up within our institutions. The same boys and girls that you claim are disrespectful in the police force and in the Jamaica Defense Force are from the very homes that are broken. So we're going to fix it. The Honorable Prime Minister has begun a program, several programs, to address these issues. And every move that he makes is being blocked by the PNP. Yet they say they love people. Yet they say that people come first for them. Yet every decision that is made in the best interest of that group that they so claim they love, they do everything to ensure that those people are not in receipt of the kind of help that they deserve. And that has to change. And finally, for Northwest St. Catherine, I believe that one of the most fundamental basic amenities that needs to all the people to have is water.
Yes.
And I think that, I know that there are a lot of discussion taking place with Windalco as it relates to the various wells that are those that fell into ruin, the Wallen well and the Jericho well. These are wells now that we are now going to be recommissioned to ensure that Northwest St. Catherine residents or people in general have more water. But remember that the Member of Parliament, Bobby Pickersgill, was the Minister of Water. Pickersgill was the Minister of Water, yet Northwest St. Catherine is one of the worst area hit by the absence of water. And this is what I'm pointing out to you, and although I'm speaking from a political perspective,
yes,
I am making sure that whatever I say, I can back it up. The man is the laziest Member of Parliament that has ever sat in the halls of Parliament. He has done absolutely nothing that I can honestly say, yes, I have identified this project as a result of his stewardship or his instrumentality.
So after 30 plus years, you're saying that there's nothing in that constituency that he could point to as part of his legacy leaving?
Nothing. I can't see. Let me tell you. I was born in the Linstead Hospital. There's a doctor man named Binns that delivered me. Dr. Binns, my mother told me that. Dr. Binns and Jack Stevenson's father, Dr. Stevenson. I know them vaguely. The Linstead Hospital was the creme de la creme. Since the clinic, which is a walking distance away from the hospital. Then you have the hostel that the doctors and the nurses used to live in. You go and look at it now. On the Pickersgill, it's just 4 posts that is standing there now, where the people used to live and stay, the doctors. The hospital that has run down on the Pickersgill has been refurbished since the Jamaica Labour Party took office.
Wow.
And he has been there for 20, 30 years. The clinic, I have to be giving them some assistance the other day because the state of the clinic in Linstead. How is it that we can have someone who can claim that they have done what they were placed there to do? If I could find one single area
yes,
that he had shown that he has done over that period, I would be more than happy to highlight it.
Wow.
I can't.
That is
I
profound. That is profound. That is serious. That is serious. So you have some work cut out for you, Newton Amos. You have some work. You have a deficit of 600. You're going into an election. You seem to have all your ducks in a row. You know exactly what the needs of the people are. You seem to have the full support, not only of the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party, but based on what we're picking up on the ground, you seem to have tremendous support. You have a lot of support in social media. Social media love Newton Amos. The chopping block love Newton Amos. That's for sure.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to support and whatever you need in terms of support, we are always here to assist. For the people
Thank you
of
in
Northwest.
advance.
Yes, for the people of Northwest, we will always be here, and I shall be on the ground myself.
Yes,
To see
I
some of
would
the stuff.
love that.
Yeah, man, I'll be on the ground. Don't worry about it. No question asked. I will be there.
Grateful.
Newton Amos, thank you so very much, sir. You have the last word.
Well, all I can say to all my friends and colleagues and supporters, both supporters from my own perspective and those of the Jamaica Labour Party, that right here in Jamaica, the Jamaica Labour Party and its supporters are pleased to be of service to the people of Jamaica at this time. And it is not just a bagamout. The action on the ground is there to be seen by all and sundry. This Prime Minister has shown that he's the right man at the right place at the right time, and that it is going to take a bulldozer, not just a D6 or a D9.
Yes.
It has to be a D12 to take him out of where the people have placed him. The young people of Jamaica who have formed the nucleus of the new voters are seeing him as the man for the leadership and the management of the affairs of the Jamaican people for the next decade and a half. They can't finish it in one term, and we may not finish it in the second term, because if you look at the infrastructural work that we have embarked upon,
Yes.
you know that these roads take years to complete. We cannot allow the business of the people of Jamaica to get back in the hands of the PMP.
Not at this stage.
We cannot make the mistakes that we have made constantly over the years. We are now grown up. We are now more experienced. We have gained more knowledge. We are better educated. And most importantly, we have technology at our fingertip, that where the body can't reach, then our voices must be heard. God
Well
bless
said.
you.
Well said. Well said. Thank you, Sir Amos. Have a good evening, sir.
respect.
Good to see you.
Respect.
And you're always
All
welcome to come back. There you have it, folks. There you have him. The man himself, Newton Amos. Live and direct. Sharp. Accurate. Concise. Deep. Newton Amos. The man is as sharp as a gillet. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, share the program. We still have 115 people watching. So spread the word. That was Mr. Newton Amos, Northwest St. Catherine. The man says Jamaica House is out of bounds. The man says the sitting MP is the laziest MP that has ever sat in the House of Parliament. I know me says so, comrade. I know me. The man says no lightering on the premises will be allowed. The man says no lightering on the premises of Jamaica House will be allowed. If you're not a resident, you can't pass through. And he says that the PNP, for the PNP, Jamaica House is out of bounds. Another black in the bag. Oral Campbell, big up yourself. Marsha Evans, big up yourself. Show some love for Newton Amos, guys. Until we can get a hold of Kamina Johnson Smith. Senator Kamina Johnson Smith will be live, huh? She'll be live on the chopping block. Jamaica House is out of bounds, said Newton Amos. Michael Cole, the Don, is in the building. As usual, when we bring you people like Newton Amos, we know what to expect. He's going to rip through the People's National Party. He's going to expose the corruption that exists. No holds bar, right? Janet Edwards, big up yourself. Loretta Weaver, big up yourself. We have a lot of new people checking out the block tonight, right? Bridget Watson, LA, big up yourself. Camille McLeod, Wagwan. Alexandra, the Shrek one, big up yourself. Clayton Air, enough respect. Ray, the Williams one, big up yourself. Robert Nesta, the Morgan, big up yourself. Carencia Morrison, good to see ya. Batroy Wagwan. Straight shooter, man, no holds bar. Newton Amos, uncut, uncensored. Custos Brown in the building. Bingo in the building. Miss Donna Wagwan. My new family, one of them. Central St. James. Donna Lynch, big up yourself. Councillor Lynch, big up yourself. Gregory, the man, big up yourself. Big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself. Sheena Carty, what go on? Peter Clark, good to see you, sir. Brian the Miles one, big up yourself. Demar, big up yourself, Demar. Philip Taylor, good to see ya. Until we meet again. For the big announcement. Mikey, what you say? Amos are the real man? You know Amos, man. Uncut, uncensored, no filter. Speak it like it is. Chris Thomas, my brethren, big up yourself. Kenroy Thomas, big up yourself. Virgin Islands in the building. Turks and Caicos in the building. I see Trinidad representing, huh? The Midwest representing. North Dakota in the building. Montreal, Canada in the building. Toronto, Canada in the building. Saskatoon in the building. Saskatchewan. Julian Mackenzie, big up yourself. Nassau, Bahamas in the building. I'm telling you, the entire Caribbean is representing tonight. What's up? We saw Trinidad in the building. Bahamas in the building. Turks and Caicos in the building. Grenada in the building. So the entire Caribbean is representing, right? Tell a friend, tweet a friend, phone a friend, and tell a friend we're on. Chopping block. We don't take no stock. Elizabeth Levy. Is UK in the building? What me unruly family there? Father Ranks, big up yourself. Marcia Burke, big up yourself. Julian Mackenzie, big up yourself. Louise Patterson, big up yourself. Nothing like mommy's love, right? Big up mommy, mommy in the building. Love you, mom. Camille McLeod, Wagwan. So which parish in Jamaica is represented, huh? Let's see which parish is the most represented parish on the chopping block. Is it St. James? I have a funny feeling of St. Mary, you know. Who's a St. Mary? Alright, let's do it by constituency, right? Let's see which constituency is most represented on the chopping block. Look like St. Mary, I'll take the lead. Somebody said St. Mary? I don't know why I had a funny feeling that St. Mary would have been the most represented parish on the chopping block. Who's gonna do the count for me, huh? Somebody do a quick tally for me now. Who says St. Bess? Me says St. Bess. Somebody said St. James. Where is Shade? Shade, big up yourself. No, sir, St. Anne. Kingston, West Kingston. Yo, it look like St. Elizabeth a lead. Who can do a tally for me? Which parish is most represented on the chopping block? St. Mary look good. I see St. James a creep up. Who can I assign to do that tally for me? Who want to volunteer to do that tally for me? I need a volunteer. I need a volunteer. We see Clarendon. Hey, where Clarendon go? Alexander Schwack. Big up yourself. Boy, St. Mary look good. Portland look good. What? Manchester now play? Where you representing from, guys? We need a volunteer. I need a volunteer. Who can volunteer to just do the honors of tallying the parishes? Brian Mars, I used to St. Mary, right? I used to Stewart Town, Charlestown, Aracabessa. I used to Stewart Town. Simon Dunbar, I used to St. Mary. Jonathan Booth, I used to St. Mary. I don't know why. I don't know why I had a feeling that St. Mary was going to take this one, you know. Need a volunteer. I need a volunteer. I need a volunteer. Don't underestimate St. Elizabeth. What me St. Elizabeth family them do? Come on, man. So I have the privilege of touching a few parishes, right? Born at St. Elizabeth, can't give that up. Went to school in St. Anne, can't give that up. Iona, big up yourself. Board in St. Mary, can't give that up either. Live in Kingston, love it. So we take on a new home now. Can anybody guess for the new home there? We take on a new parish, man, love it. Portland in the building. So we need a volunteer. I need somebody to volunteer. North Trelawney in the building. Somebody said Tova. Montego Bay is not a parish. Montego Bay is not a parish, you know. Who will lead? I need a volunteer to do a count. What about St. Andrew? St. Andrew not keep. Manchester not keep. Westmoreland not keep. What about Hanover? Come on, guys. We need a volunteer. I need a volunteer. I need somebody to tally them count for me. Simone said, don't write a lot of me, right? St. Mary. Simone Dunbar, big up yourself. We need a quick count. We need a quick count. Custos Brown, do us the honors, man. St. Mary win landslide, eh? No, sir. The question is, which parish represents the most on chopping block for tonight? Some say St. Mary. Some say Kingston. Some say my parish, St. Bess. Others say St. James. We're not hearing nothing from Westmoreland tonight. What go on? What Westmoreland family them there? Eastern Hanover, where you at? George Yapis, big up yourself. I see St. Thomas a sneaking. St. Thomas in the building. Steve Nugent, how you doing? Royal Francis, big up yourself. Georgie, the Yap one in the building. All avant-garde. No, sir, it seemed like Simone a rigged that thing, you know. Me not trust Simone for that one, you know. Me don't like how me just see a bunch of St. Mary just a pop up. St. Mary just a come out of the woodworks. No, sir. Watch it, another St. Mary again. No, sir. No. St. Mary, no. Davian Paddy, what go on? I agree with you on that one, Davian. Which parish represents the most on the chopping block? St. Mary, look away. We feel like Simone rig it still, because it look like she make a phone call and say, St. Mary, no, roll out. No, sir, it look like somebody called Bobby Montague. It look like somebody called Dan Query. What's St. Elizabeth now? Custos Brown, beg your account now. Odeon Statistician Grant, give me some stats now. I need a volunteer to do a quick count, eh? Me have a funny feeling, say Simone Warren, Dunbar, Warren. I feel like Simone rigged that one, you know. You know them call that one of the 10 o'clock surge. This is called the 9 o'clock surge. At minutes to 9, Simone pick up the phone and call and say, yo, you not vote yet, come in. Simone, who are you runner? Cause you just dig out the St. Mary vote them, sonny. Who are your runner? Who are your PD captain? Who are your cluster manager? I tell you, Simone, you rig that one up, power boy. You rig it. Just watch the trend, guys. Everybody right now has a St. Mary. I don't even think I need a count. Because it's obvious that St. Mary a lead. Hey Pat, what go on? St. Mary a compound town of my place, man. That's where my mom is from. That's where everybody in my family is from, you know. Yeah, man, we're very much at a compound town, you know. Love it. Try to make that trad at least once a year, you know. Yeah, St. Mary look like them take over the thing. It look like Simone walk out with a scandal bag of money and go buy some vote a while ago. Simone trick everybody else and just go with a bag of money and just buy some vote. St. Elizabeth, all them parish there, where it look like them a lead. St. Mary just come out in the last 20 minutes and done them. St. Mary pull off a oil well, them say. A last minute surge. Simona, who are your cluster manager, your PD captain? Who are the runners for St. Mary? Party workers, big up on yourself. PD captain, cluster supervisors, big up yourself. The runners, big up yourself. No, but it does have a feeling. It does have a feeling that St. Mary are going to lead, you know. But good job, though. Good job. St. Mary are lead tonight, you know. So the next chopping block we're going to see our lead. And here's what we're going to do, right? So any parish that represents the most on the block, that's the parish we're going to feature. Or should we break that down to constituency? How about that? Central St. James still a lead, boy, I tell you. Yo, there's a road in Central St. James, right? So while I was down there, I had the opportunity to travel that road. It's called the Cottage Road, right? The people them tell me so that road I never fix. And the lady who spoke to me, she was about 8 years old. So she's 8 years old, she's 80 and she never see asphalt on the road yet. She said she never see asphalt on the road in Cottage Road. She never see asphalt on it yet. So when she see the people them come out and them a grade off the road and do all them something there, she wasn't even excited. She said, Mr. Chopper John, me now excited over that. He said, Mummy, them going to fix the road, man. She said, me now hear you, you know. So I said, Mummy, why you really not listen to me? He said, them going to fix the road. She said, no, enough time me see this. She said, about 5 times me see them come here already. And grade it off and put my help on it. And as the election done, so them gone. Never put an ounce of asphalt. So Mr. Mummy, a different time now, you know. These people make commitment, not promise. And I am going back to visit this lady, you know why? Because our road I get asphalt. I'm a better, you know. I'm better. I say, Mummy, I bet you. See, I will get asphalt on your road. So I cannot wait to go back to Cottage Road. That's in Salt Spring. The Salt Spring division, right? I can't wait to go back down there. Because I'm going to knock on this little lady door. I'm going to say, Mummy, you see, you're my window. She must be one of the happiest lady in town because our road is getting asphalt. Big up yourself. Central St. James. Eli Clark, the man. But back to the parish that represent the most. Even though Simone rig it. Who run a tight second? Was it St. Elizabeth? Mr. Simone make one phone call or send one group text message and the whole of St. Mary come out. Now may I tell you, if this is how Simone run our election day campaign, that's why St. Mary can't lose. Let me say, in about 3 minutes, the entire room full of St. Mary. She marshal the whole of St. Mary and say, come on. That is what it's called the 9 o'clock surge, right? Chopping block is on. This is called a segment where we just lime. This is called the post-show segment, right? Newton Amos delivered a striking blow to the People's National Party. Newton Amos said Jamaica House is off bounds, off limit, out of bound. And only upon an invitation can you enter. Any other entry will deem trespassing. And trespassers will be prosecuted. I know me say so. And the ex-cop says so. Lightering on the grounds of Jamaica House will not be tolerated, said Amos. Simone, me not tell a lie. If I saw you run a day-to-day campaign on the ground, yo, I'm gonna need you in my seat. When she hears that St. Elizabeth Ali, she got quiet for about 2 minutes. And when she returned, the entire room covered, carpeted with St. Mary. Custos Brown a cry fall. Him say buy the election, yeah. Simone him say buy it. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, call a friend and tell a friend we have fun. It's a chopping block. With yours truly. Chopper! The John! Mandatory recount himself. So I'm gonna take this one to court. One to St. Catherine. Well, yes, folks, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Let's keep the vibes going. Keep the conversations going. There's 53 people still in the room. I'm asking you guys to share. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, phone a friend, and let a friend know that we're on. Newton Amos, we appreciate you coming through. We appreciate everybody who share, who tell a friend, who tweet a friend. We appreciate Simone for calling out the troops from St. Mary and done the place. We love it. It's another one in the bag, folks. We shall return. Until we do so, peace. And I'm out the door. Enough respect. Enough love.
Greetings. I am Mark McDermott, Business Development Manager, Jamaica Tourist Board, Midwest. Jamaica is the jewel of the Caribbean. Our island offers unique experiences regarding our history, people, culture, and of course the sweet sounds of reggae music. The original inhabitants of Jamaica were the Taino Indians who named the island Jamaica, meaning land of wood and water. The island was first colonized by Spain in 1494 and then by England in 1655 until Jamaica became an independent nation on August 6, 1962. The people of Jamaica are resilient, warm, and welcoming, and we're really enthusiastic about sharing our culture with the visitors. The Jamaica Tourist Board offers a Meet the People program. This special program is designed to match visitors with Jamaicans who share similar interests. We're always happy to introduce you to the island and to have you see Jamaica through our own eyes. The beauty of the Meet the People program is that it's free of cost. For more information, log on to www.jtbonline.org or email me at mmcdermott@visitjamaica.com. Jamaica, the home of all right. Yeah, man.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. All right.
Jamaica in the world record time. Jamaica in world record time.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright.
It's always beautiful in Jamaica. Everything usually be green and pretty. We have beautiful water. Temperature that is normal temperature, water never cold. We've been into business for about 30